Good morning and happy Monday. It's going to be a 100% win rate recap today. After a small red day on Friday, I came in and crushed it today. Trading the most obvious stocks out there like BNAI, Vero, and VCIG. It was a really good day today. We're going to break it all down one by one so you can do it too, hopefully. Let's go and dive right into it. Now, first up, going into market open today, we had two stocks up huge. You had GLT up over 200%. You had Move up over 200%. Just some crazy stuff in pre-market. But the big issue was coming into market open, these things started halting left and right, which removes any bit of playability from these. And so we get this move here, market open on move, and it just halts left and right. It halts here, knifes here, halts down. It's just not tradable. It's just not tradable. And so it's like, we know this. We know we come in on both of these. Both of these were halting. Look at this on GLTO. 1 halt, 2 halt, 3 halt, 4 halt, 5. It's just ridiculous. 6 halts on this, 7 halts on this. Crazy. Again, not tradable. So see, whenever you come in the market open, I find it really fun. It's a game of trying to figure out what that obvious stock is going to be. It's like a treasure hunt for me. And it's like looking around trying to see what the obvious stock is going to be. What are buyers running after right now? And the way I see it is, again, this year on GLTO and on Move, again, they were the obvious stocks in pre-market, but you come in the market open, everybody sees that they're halting left and right. They're not tradable, so those traders are going to go somewhere else. And so on my list this morning, I had 4 stocks on here. And only 2 or 1 of them met criteria. And so I had GLTO, Move, which those were out of the question because of the halts at market open. I had MSGM, which never found volume today. And then I had BNAI, which was the only thing that met criteria. It was my biggest stock of the day today. I think I crushed this thing. Look at this. And so we had those 4 stocks going into the open that I really wanted to watch. And only the 1 ended up meeting criteria. And so we go on over to BNAI at market open. And this thing could not have been more fun to trade today. Now, of course, looking back here, it looks actually very similar to MSPR. I hadn't even noticed. It's an almost identical setup to MSPR last week. And so we come into the bell. We've got this really tight channel here forming into the bell. So it's trying to break to the upside. Of course, we want to see that confirmation first. So we come out of market open here. And of course, rule number 1, we're not going to go chase that initial breakout of the bell. So this starts to break at market open. Of course, I sit back and wait to see if it's going to pull back and confirm off the pullbacks. It does not. This thing just flips back on itself, moves back to the lows. Just a disgusting move. But then it starts to reclaim. And you can see here, breaks back up through those highs. Opening range breakout. I look for the pullback. I wait for it to break back up through that high. Again, once it does, I take the entry. And so break over the high, risking off this candle's low. I get a nice little move here. You can see I was able to play it a little bit here from about 59 cents to about 62.50. And this was okay. I really wanted to see this get breaking up higher. It does this really annoying thing, though, where it breaks trend to the downside. Look at this. It literally breaks trend to the downside. Well, I guess sort of. I just didn't like overall structure on the 15-second time frame. It sort of breaks down and grabs liquidity off the 9 and then rips up through its highs. So I actually took my profit here full. I was out full here, and then I took another entry on the actual confirmation. So I still got this move, you can see here. And so played it here initially, got a nice little move, and then played it again off the reclaim and played it back up into these highs. It played quite well. So I had it here from, 58s to about 62s, and then I had it again from 60 to about 66. And then price pulls back, puts in place a bit of a range off the 90 EMA. And as you know, what's working right now are not breakouts. Of course, this one here was a bit of a breakout at market open, but it just looked fantastic. There's definitely times where breakouts are doable whenever it's not extended. And see, in the case of this year, we had it tied off the moving average. And so what's working right now are these pullbacks out of the bottom of its range, tying off the 90 EMA, tying off VWAP, and just leaving alone the overextended mass that just doesn't have as good of risk to reward. And in this case here, these were my only trades that I actually had any bit of size on. And we'll talk about the difference in size up here towards the highs. But it did really, really well through here. And so price puts in place a range off the 9. I take a pullback entry, risking off this low to see if we could get a squeeze back up through the high. And again, got a pretty nice move here. And you can see he's able to capitalize again off this pullback from about 65 cents back up through 70. Of course, as price then grabs liquidity off this high here, that's the case for a full exit. Price then pulls back and confirms off this low because again, we here initially found buyers here. And so we can assume we're going to find buyers here. And it confirms that it does. It pulls back again. So what can I assume? It's probably going to find buyers again. So we have this higher low form right here, which we can see like this. And of course, take the entry after confirming a buyer off this pullback. And we're able to capture back up into the top of its range, back up into top of resistance. And so it's been played again here from 63.50 to about 66. So at this point of the morning, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 profitable trades on this back to back. Now, as we get up through its highs, it looks pretty good, and I honestly wish, well, I keep on saying this, I wish it traded a lot cleaner than it did. I could have capitalized on this whole move, but I didn't because look how nasty this thing was. So it breaks over the high. We have this past wick formed off the high of day, which again becomes an area of supply. It pulls back, becomes an area of demand. Cool. Simple little pivot here off the high of day. And so I take these pullbacks with just lotto size. Why am I taking lotto size up here? Because we're so extended away from the moving averages and VWAP. At that point, I just don't have as much conviction. I've got good profit here after a red day on Friday. And so I just want to sort of keep what I have. And so I came in here with lotto size. It did quite well. So played the pullbacks here. And the big thing that sort of scared me out of this, and I tried to give it a chance to go, you can see here, we test off this high and grab liquidity in a big way. Look at this. Big knife off the high. Huge seller sitting off this high. And so I go ahead and just take my full profit after that rejection. And then it gets squeezing back up through highs and just gets grinding. At that point, anything is a chase, and it's just too extended for me. So I leave it alone from there. Moving on after that, I had VCIG, and this thing was unfortunate because I feel like I could have done so much more on this. But if you were trading today, VCIG was extremely thin, and I was just so worried of a knife the whole time. Because see, this move here, the initial move happened on such little volume that there wasn't that volume shelf beneath price that I really wanted to see to give me that conviction that I wasn't going to catch a knife on this. So I see it put in place this range. I play it with quite small size for the break higher. I get a nice little move here, get a little bit of profit. But then the problem is we grab off these two highs, topping tails off the high, double top off the high, and so I don't take any of these pullbacks. It breaks to the highs. I get a little bit of a lotto, small win. So that one's just sort of unfortunate. Just really weird price action. I just really didn't feel too comfortable on it. Next, we had Vero. Pretty good trades on this. You can see we had this tightening wedge going into market open. And so as it broke to the upside, you can see played this quite well. Stop loss goes at the low here. And got a little bit of profit on this. You can see rejected off the high, pulled back, grabbed liquidity, and just not very clean. Volume here was very light, though, as you can see. So tried to make it happen. I wanted to really find a buyer to get this going back up through VWAP for the squeeze. Price action was just kind of funky. Then again, gets going over the highs. I'm playing the pullbacks quite well. And then all through here, pretty much break even on this little spot here. But again, pullbacks paid off fairly well. But again, look at the price action. Very poppy and droppy. Look at this. I take the pullback entry, risking off this previous high of day. I get a squeeze through the high of day, and guess what happens? Grabs liquidity over the high. That's the case for an instant exit, and I take my profit there. So not too bad, though. So I had a little pullback entry there. You can see from 285 to about 3. Grabs liquidity off the high for a full take profit. So that's pretty much the morning. I've traded 3 stocks today. I'm green on everything. 100% win rate day. Overall, what can you do? Except for come in, stay picky, and do what's right. And that's exactly what we did today. So that is the morning recap. Hopefully you learned something from this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe for daily content just like this. And of course, as always, to watch me trade and sort of crush through the market like this every single day, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial down in the description below. That way you can actually watch me trade these stocks in real time, get my watch list, alerts, scanners, news, chat room access, alerts, so much more. And that being said, I will see you there tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow is a bank holiday. The market is open. We will be trading, but people with cash accounts will not have their funds settled tomorrow, so there might be a little bit less volume in the markets. So keep that in mind. Be good, be smart, be responsible. I'll catch you back tomorrow.